Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Coreyleewrenn. I'm a vegan sociologist and I specialize in vegan feminism. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a very ubiquitous phenomenon, and that is men violating women's boundaries in public spaces by proxy through a dog. So if you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, stay tuned and I will educate you. But I'm willing to bet if you're watching this video, you do know what I'm talking about. Perhaps it's even happened to you. And if so, maybe leave a comment so we can share that and learn from it. But I wanted to approach this and bring in some vegan feminist theory to explain why this happens. Stay tuned. So I'll be honest, folks, the first time I ever heard about this phenomena was from a student of mine when I was teaching at Monmouth University back in the day. I was teaching gender studies. And I had a student, Sarah McGrail, who was an Asian American woman, a small woman, a petite woman. And she, for her final project, decided to write about this experience for the Vegan Feminist Network. So I will link this below. I always assumed that, she had a lot of things going against her. She's very young, she's attractive, conventionally attractive. She's an Asian American woman. There's lots of stereotypes, unfortunately, against Asian women. And I thought, this happens, but maybe not for everyone. Well, then I moved to the UK, and I basically am in a different living situation now. When I was living in New Jersey is a very urban space, and I didn't really walk around my neighborhoods or things like that. I didn't have a dog at the time. I did get catcalled quite a lot when I would be walking over to the community park, so much so that I actually filed an official complaint with the New Jersey state parks, and well, not state parks, city parks, and I asked that they put in a safer entrance to the park because I was getting catcalled so many times. On one particular walk from my house to the park, I got catcalled 7 times. It was really, really scary. So in some ways, I did kind of understand what Sarah was talking about, but I didn't have a dog, and I didn't really walk around in community spaces. That was really it. That was because it's a driving culture, really, in New Jersey. But I did get a taste of it when I was walking across to the park. In that 10-minute walk, I would get catcalled quite a lot. Okay. So this is not to say that I don't believe that this happens. It was just like I thought that she had extra things working against her, and that was unfortunate. Then I moved to England, and in England, in Canterbury and city center where I live, it's not very car friendly. And when I moved to this country, I gave my car away, and I've not had a car since, which has been great for a lot of reasons, because driving in New Jersey is always life or death. But one thing I very quickly noticed is that when I moved here, I'm now exposed more often to, I'm walking to get anywhere. Going to the grocery store, I'm walking. Going to work, I'm walking. Going to meet friends, I'm walking. Going to get my teeth cleaned, I'm walking. So I'm out in public a lot more, and so the exposure rate is a lot higher. And yes, the catcalls have increased. So I'm just setting the basis here that there's this background here for every woman who's walking in public spaces. You're going to be subject to this stuff. But Sarah was tapping into something very unique that I didn't really fully grasp until I myself became a dog owner. Owner is not really the right word, but a dog person. How about that? So when I first got Mishka, I have to walk my dog. So I'm out walking around, but I'm walking even more. So my exposure rate has increased. And now I also have this very adorable dog. Let's get Mishka involved, shall we? She's watching me from over there. Now is Mishka. Would you like your little... This is the cat toy, but she guards it. No? No, she wants to see. She's got a new point of view, so she's checking things out. Well, anyway, as you can see, this is a very, very adorable dog. These cute little ears and 2 color eyes and just sweet as anything. So she invites lots and lots and lots of compliments and people who want to stop and pet her, get to know her. I cannot go out in public without people stopping me to introduce themselves to Mishka. And that's fine, especially because Mishka is deaf. Mishka, I don't get to take her out that much because I work, right? So she gets her big outing for the day. But when I take her out, it's always really exciting when she gets to meet people and dogs. Like, this is good for her mental health to interact with other people. So anyway, she's a very, very cute dog. And I always get stopped. But unfortunately, it's not always well-meaning children or women, or in a lot of cases, tourists. There's lots and lots of people who stopped just to take pictures of Mishka who are just visiting Canterbury, which is, okay, you're a very well-documented doggy. But the point of this video is that actually quite a lot of men use Mishka to interact with me. And this is where I think I was been a bit naive and didn't really put myself in the same shoes as Sarah, because I'm an older woman. Like, I'm in my 40s and I'm definitely not a cute little 20-something. I'm just a woman in public, just a woman trying to live and exist. That doesn't matter. Like, I think you could be any age and still be harassed by men in public spaces, because the idea is it's a power move, right? This is not about sexual attraction. This is about a power move, a dominant social dominance behavior. So what happens oftentimes is Mishka will be the sort of conduit where they will go up to Mishka and say, oh, can I pet your dog? And I will say yes, because like I said, she's deaf, she's disabled. I really enjoy when she gets special attention. And she enjoys it, don't you? So I always say yes. But oftentimes people will use that. She's just, if the cat were to come by and take this, she would be very interested all of a sudden, but not today. But they will oftentimes then use that to start up a conversation with me and then latch on and not go away. And I've had so many really disturbing incidents with that, to where I don't really feel comfortable going out in public on my own in certain spaces unless I have someone with me, because of Mishka. That becomes a reason. They'll say, oh, your dog is very cute. And then I have to respond, even if I've got headphones in or if I'm reading a book. That doesn't matter. Many people understand what I'm talking about there. It doesn't matter if you got headphones, you look uninterested. Even if you say, I'm not interested, that doesn't always work. Books don't always work. The dog is here, and the dog makes it easier then for men to come up and start conversations when they know that otherwise it would be unwelcome. And I've had so many incidents, and I won't go into all the details because this video would go on and on and on. But that's the first point I wanted to make, is that Mishka has been used as a way to violate boundaries that men know it's unacceptable to violate that boundary. If a woman is out in public minding her own business, leave her alone. This is not cocktail hour. I'm not here looking to pick up numbers. The other thing I wanted to point out about life with a dog in public is that more than once I've been degraded because of my dog. More than once I've been walking out with my dog, and one time a group of guys walked by me and said, oh, the dog looks better than she does. Okay, fair enough. Maybe I'm not the most attractive woman in the world, but what it was is I had gotten dressed up. I was going out for the night, so I put my makeup on and my hair was a little bit more glamorous than it's looking right now. Yeah. And I had heels on, etc. So they knew I was dressed up, and they just had to put me down. Here's a woman in public who looks confident and beautiful. Take her down a notch by comparing her to a dog. Very offensive, right? You're very beautiful. And I'm always in awe of your beauty. And I've also had a case where a group of men surrounded me once because they wanted to pet Mishka, and then all of a sudden I'm just like really surrounded. Your dog's really pretty, your dog's really good looking, or whatever. And it was just like, it was obviously not just about Mishka. It was about surrounding me and making me feel unsafe, and about maybe not so much me, but using me as a way for them to prove their masculinity to one another, because it was a group setting. So this is just a handful of incidences. And the reason I've decided to make this video is because recently I've been having this happen so often, to where I just don't feel comfortable going out to the park by myself, because so many creepy dudes just come up and cannot take a hint and are using Mishka in order to get to me. And to be fair, it's not always a gendered or sexualized thing. There's one guy who always comes to the park and has a really cute dog. He said to me that his dog will go up to anybody that he just doesn't want to talk to, and now he feels obligated to speak to them. And that happens to me as well sometimes. And, you know, just kind of smooth over those awkward social interactions. But more importantly is when it's obviously a ruse. You're using the dog then to open up communication with me when you see that I'm not interested, and then you occupy my space and take up my time and make me feel uncomfortable, or just outright hit on me. And I think that's a real shame, you know, that I'm just trying to exist in the world with my dog. Yeah. So what does this mean? What's the idea here? Well, we're looking at vegan feminist theory, and this basically is arguing that women, like non-human animals, have been feminized, have been put into submissive social positions, so that the public space is never really our space. Gosh, if we're looking at dogs, like dogs can't go here, they can't go there, they can't pee here, pick up the poop, don't go in there, don't bark, stay on the lead. So many rules, right? So many rules. And so we're always put in a submissive position when we're in public. The public space has historically not been for women or for other animals. So when we enter these spaces, it's not uncommon then for the dominant class to then try to exercise that right to the public space and remind everyone else that they're not really welcome here, that their presence there is contingent. And the other idea here is that when we're looking at sexual harassment, again, is not always about sexual interest. A lot of the times it's a power move in order to make someone, or remind someone of their position in the social hierarchy. But the fact that dogs are often used as a means to enact that male dominance, I think really, really is evidence to vegan feminist theory, that being that women and other animals, their positionality in the social world is very much so entangled. And then again, the examples I was giving when I was saying, the men were saying that I was, the dog was more attractive than I was. One of the ways that women have been put down is by animalizing them. And then, of course, it goes the opposite way. And one of the ways that animals, she wants a belly scratch. She wants a belly scratch. One of the ways that animals are put down is by feminizing them. Yeah. Yeah. And the feminizing is part of a social role in this, because gender in Western society is a relationship of dominance and submission. To be feminine is to be submissive. Whether or not we agree with that or not, that's the way it's been socially constructed, whereas masculinity is about dominance. So it's no surprise then that we see non-human animals wrapped up with femininity and wrapped up with women's status. But the interesting thing is that with all the talk about crazy cat ladies, quote unquote, and women and their cats, I've always been a cat lady, but I've also been a dog lady. And I've not always had dogs my whole life because it's more difficult to have them in a landlord society where we don't have much rights over who we get to live with. So dogs are harder to accommodate in a rental system. But cats tend to be easier for that. And so women tend to are more likely to experience economic hardship, to be impoverished, to be renting. And so that's one of the reasons we're more likely to live with cats. But women are also dog people. That's neither here nor there. Why do we stereotype dogs as being masculine or for men? Why do we stereotype cats for being for women? Well, it's because cats are considered to be more evil, independent, resist domestication, resist obedience, whereas dogs are very obedient, very loyal, like men in the patriarchal system are expected to be. And the patriarchal system is also encouraging men that although you may not be at the top, you always strive to be at the top. And one way to get further up the top, it's a conflict-based system, is to put down those who are below you. Hence, dogs serve this very important social role in supporting a patriarchal conflict-based system, a hierarchy. And as long as dogs are down there at the bottom, licking your boots, theoretically or literally, that helps to elevate men. So what a weird thing then when women are living with dogs. But nonetheless, I think that dogs become feminized when they're associated with women, especially me, a single woman out in the park. They become feminized in that way, and inviting men to then kind of enter that space and reassert boundaries. So this is my 2 cents on this. I don't think it's an accident that non-human animals get wrapped up in these gender politics of space and place. If you've had any experiences with this, let me know in the comments. And again, I'm linking Sarah's piece from, gosh, like 10 years ago now. And check that out and see what you think. And yeah, stay safe out there. And let's reclaim the streets for puppies and women. Sweet puppy. Say bye-bye. Oh.